Write your text very carefully. You want to use present tense and imperative mode. In other words, make it sound like it's happening now and tell people what to do. For example, you want to tell people how to change a faucet. First thing you need to do is get the old faucet off. So you tell them, turn off the water supply, turn off the water at the main valve, turn on the faucet to relieve water pressure. Notice, it's happening now and you are commanding them to do something. Make sure you include all the actions even if they seem obvious. Do you think that these people here would actually be able to assemble this tent in 2 minutes? I would be very surprised. There's a lot of information missing between step 1 and step 2, and matter of fact, between step 2 and step 3, wow, that's a whole big jump there. Oh, suddenly, step 4, it's all done. I don't think it's that easy. You'd probably need to tell people what to do. Now I'm going to show you a picture of food. You're going to wonder, well, what does a fish lump on a salad have to do with anything? It is because this is an example of why you need to include all the steps, even if they're obvious. There's a chef named Emeril Lagasse. You've probably heard of him. He's, as many chefs do, he's written many cookbooks. One particular cookbook he wrote, he did instructions on how to make this salad with a piece of fish on top. So the fish was fried, you took it out, you put it on the salad, and you had this nice fish on greens. Well, a bunch of people tried his recipe, and they ended up with this horrible, horrible gloppy mess. It was a very expensive fish piece that he was requiring, and then they put it on the greens, and it was inedible and disgusting. Well, what's wrong? Why did this happen to so many people? It's because Emeril did not tell them to pat off all the oil from the fish before putting it on the greens. So they just pulled it out of the oil, slopped it on the greens, and well, all the greens went bleh, the fish went bleh, and it was just this disgusting mess. So make sure that you tell people to do something, even if you think it's obvious and everybody knows to do that. Odds are one of your audience will not know, and if the instructions fail, that'll be a big problem. Focus again on the user's tasks. We talked about this before. What is it that the user wants to do? In the end result, what is their goal? And then tell them exactly how to get there. What do they need to actually do? Make sure you keep your steps as short as possible. And be specific. Say exactly what you mean that you want the user to do. Here's an example of why it's important to be specific. Read dial. Yeah, no. Read a dial. Not much better. Read the dial. Definitely not any better. Read the top dial. Yeah, no. Read the top left dial in red. Ah, yes. Very specific. So, again, tell your reader exactly what it is that they need to do. Proofread, proofread, proofread. If you include errors in your text, your reader might get confused, or they might not be able to understand, or they might just be driven insane by the errors. Here's an example of that. I found these instructions years ago, and I noticed some problems with them. For example, this I shouldn't be capitalized. This headline, it's redundant. Set up should be 2 words here. IP should be capitalized. It's a comma splice. Again, set up is 2 words. IP should be capitalized. This, it's a good idea to always define whatever this is that you were talking about. After restarting your computer, it needs to be a comma between the 2. IP should be capitalized. When this happens, comma, the ports, IP needs to be capitalized. So, now there's actually nothing wrong with starting a sentence with a coordinating conjunction. You may remember the list of them. FANBOYS, the acronym fanboys, for, and, nor, yet, but, or, yet, so, FOY, yes. Anyway, you can do it, but people think it's wrong, so I would suggest avoiding doing so.